everyone. My name is Jake. I chose case scenario 7. At 21:38 hours, I was dispatched to 19804 Queen Street at Queensland Apartments for a shooting. Dispatch advised the shooting occurred in front of Building 3. You report that the caller, Derek Rawlings, who is a security guard, shot a guy who tried to rob him. Upon arrival to the scene, I noticed Officer Johnson already on the scene, Rawlings, a few tenants on the sidewalk, and a young man sitting on the ground leaning up against a car in the parking lot. The young man on the ground, Paul Anderson, is bleeding from a wound at the neck but is coherent. There's a gun on the ground several feet away from Anderson that is partially covered by smoke. While this could likely be a case of self-defense, Mr. Rawlings will still face charges of attempted murder and be required to prove that his actions were in fact in self-defense. The witness, Thomas Alfred Brinkley, who lives at the address mentioned above, 19804 Queen Street, apartment 405. He's a white male, 25 years of age, and works at E&A Grocery at 2921 Marquette Avenue. He is 6'5", with an athletic build, brown hair, and blue eyes. The form of interview best used here is statement analysis. According to Goslin, statement analysis is the word-by-word examination, the grammar within a statement. The questions pertinent to being asked in this case would be to first have him give his account of what he saw occur prior to the shooting, being careful to pay special attention to word usage, looking for signs of deviation. Another thing to look for is too much of information on a specific portion of the details or information presented out of order, and conviction of the witness to their statement. An honest statement would normally be presented in order, beginning, middle, and end. Jumping around in the story is not only unhelpful, but also could indicate deception. Once the statement has been taken, I would ask follow-up questions to ensure they are holding to their original statement. It's easier to remember the truth than something made up on the spot. Questions I would ask would be, where were you standing in relation to the incident, in order to gain an idea of their view of the incident? What did the shooter look like, to confirm the security guard was in fact the shooter and not covering for someone else? What was the victim wearing? Where was he standing? Because only someone who was actually present could know this information. How and when you ask questions can be just as important as what you ask. For example, you don't want to ask what shooter looked like when the suspect is standing nearby, within sight. Legal and ethical issues to consider while taking the witness statement would be to take your witness seriously, even if their statement is ludicrous and unlikely. When paired with your suspect in victim interviews, they may paint a better picture together than they do apart. It doesn't matter if he's a drug addict looking to score or a millionaire looking to buy the property on which the incident happened. He should be given the same respect he deserves as a human being. Do not lead your witness on in any direction except what comes natural to them, so that their testimony is easier to repeat in court if needed. If you do, you could end up ruining your case and setting the suspect free. The suspect, Derek Gene Rawlings, a security guard at 19804 Queen Street, Queensland Apartments. He lives at 325 Ford Avenue, Muskegon, Michigan 49443. He's 6'5", 235 pounds, has brown balding hair and blue eyes. He's wearing a standard issue blue guard uniform. He's clean cut with a little scruffy facial hair from the night before, from his shift. And his skin is quite weathered from age and weather exposure. He has worked as a guard in this location for 3 years. It is important to approach the suspect at ease while maintaining a professional awareness of the situation at hand. The suspect should be unarmed at this point. The best route for an interview with the suspect is a structured interview. A structured interview builds rapport and encourages participation, which helps put the suspect at ease, making them more willing to divulge important information. It also gives the suspect a chance to review his statement and make sure he didn't miss anything. While reviewing the statement, one should not only ask confirming questions, but intentionally mistake information, giving the suspect a chance to either correct you or bumble and confirm false information. Questions one should ask include, what did the victim say to you? What was the victim's demeanor when he approached? What was your demeanor as he approached? What happened to escalate the situation before, during, and after the shooting? Also, one should ask why he felt the need to shoot the victim. These questions are important because they help establish the story of what happened, what state of mind the suspect was in, and can help establish any witnesses that were missed or avoided questioning. Ethical behavior in this situation would entail being sure to listen to and report the suspect's statement and answers to your questions without prejudice. Also, treating the suspect respectfully and advising him of his rights are important because conducting an interrogation under the pretext of an interview would be unethical and illegal. Be sure to have a witness present that can corroborate your account of the interview in case any legal issues should arise in the future. Unethical behavior in this situation could result in a miscarriage of justice, and nobody wants that. While the suspect admits what he did in his interview, it is important to conduct an interrogation to determine if his account of the events is true and unchanged. The purpose here is to elicit a confession of his true intent while committing the crime, whether it be self-defense or otherwise. The interrogation will take place in a non-custodial situation because the suspect has proven to be willing to cooperate, knowing that he is under investigation. There is no need for an arrest at this time. The technique intended for use with the suspect would be the Reed model because the suspect believes that his actions were justified, so downplaying the consequences of a confession will be the smoothest route to a full admission of guilt. There are 5 steps to preparing for an interrogation. Know the case, determine the prior record, view the scene, establish the timing, and determine who will do the interrogating. In knowing the case, the interrogator should read through all statements and accounts of the events, speak to all investigators of the crime, and review the laws concerning the crimes at hand. Next, one should review the suspect's history and determine if the suspect should have any fear of returning to prison or not, which could affect his willingness to be open and honest about the events. After this, reviewing the scene for any evidence that may point to the suspect as the culprit, or in this case, the aggressor. In this case, self-defense is a suspected defense, so look for anything that contradicts this. Determining the timing is important, and in this case has been chosen appropriately as all evidence has been collected and the suspect believes he has developed a comfortable relationship with the officer that is questioning him. The best officer to conduct this interrogation will be myself, the officer that the suspect knows and is comfortable speaking openly with. One must be sure that the suspect is aware that he is free to leave at any time, as the suspect is not at this time under arrest. Be sure to have a witness present that can corroborate your account of the interview. In case any legal issues should arise in the future, unethical behavior in this situation could also result in a miscarriage of justice, and nobody wants that. Technology can be very helpful in all steps of the investigation and interviews and interrogation, from video cameras recording the interrogations and interviews to security cameras covering the scene of the crime, cell phone video, anything of that nature. Also, they can be integral in eliciting an admission. Thank you.